Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually been reported officially that James Gunn is being blamed for Marvel's failures since Endgame. James Gunn is the main reason why so many projects have been a disaster for Kevin Feige, even though I know Kevin Feige is the genesis of that issue of the failures they've had at Marvel. Like, let's not kid ourselves right now. He is the main genesis as to why so many projects went so woke and went broke at the same time. I understand why everyone now will look at James Gunn as the main head behind all these issues, but let's still call a spade a spade. Kevin Feige has his hands rooted in the evil that went on with the demise of the MCU. So the insiders at Cosmic Book News, they've been told that Warner Brothers Discovery, once it's sold, James Gunn also will be fired instantly. He will no longer be the head of DC Studios. Now, there is more reports following this announcement, and it's regarding post-Endgame collapse at the MCU, whereby Kevin Feige took an approach to the MCU that only focused on the messaging, the woke messaging at the time, feminist agenda, Me Too movement, all those crap. So what happened is that no one really could tell why the MCU went all in that direction. The same direction James Gunn is now currently taking the DCU in. Currently, this is what is happening. You can see the garbage that is his Superman, his Peacemaker, and all his project. Now, this particular scoop is coming from Grace Randolph. Not just from any person. Grace Randolph, the ultimate shield of Hollywood. She is the woman that will shield for almost any major studio publication that always tip her or do something nice for her. So for her to now come out and literally expose the fact that James Gunn is the main reason why the MCU project started failing, and this is what she said, because she cites Peyton Reed. In fact, let me put it this way. What she's saying here is that James Gunn started bringing in friends, not quality directors or quality expertise into the MCU. He started recommending to Kevin Feige to bring in his friends, people that he knows, people that he trusts, and all that to handle big projects. This is what the Grace Randolph says. She says that Peyton Reed is the first example because this guy goes on to direct all the Ant-Man films, all the Ant-Man films that failed for Disney. The trilogy was handled by Peyton Reed, and it was originally meant for Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright was supposed to make the Ant-Man franchise. Now, the article goes on and says that Peyton Reed went on to direct all three Ant-Man films, with Quantumania being such a huge flop that the Marvel studio was forced to pivot. They had to bring back Robert Downey Jr. They had to bring back Robert Downey Jr. in the last-ditch Hail Mary effort to save the MCU. Now, the article goes on and says that James Gunn, before he even left Marvel, was recommending a lot of talents right off the bat. And a lot of that recent talent that he was recommending all led the Marvel division down the wrong path. A path that oddly DC currently is going on. And this is what Grace Randolph says in a video. She then even added that in the early days of Marvel, they were hiring more professional people who were more established. But then James Gunn came in, and they started taking risks on the quirkier, lower down people. While she doesn't name others, James Gunn may have influenced It's worth noting that Taika Waititi came in and struck gold with Thor Ragnarok, a film very much in the Guardians tone, yet post-Endgame, Love and Thunder was a massive flop at the box office. Now, the reality here is that there are other directors that should not even have handled projects for the MCU that handle projects for the MCU. For instance, you had Cate Shortland. She was mentioned. She handled Black Widow. Cate Shortland had no business handling Black Widow to begin with. Same with Chloé Zhao. Chloé Zhao handled the Eternals as one of the biggest disasters of all time. You also have Nia DaCosta. Now, Nia DaCosta, she handled the Marvels that was the biggest flop in the MCU since the MCU begun. That's basically it. Now, this article even exposes so many directors that should not have had their jobs in the first place. For instance, Jessica Gao that made She-Hulk should not have handled She-Hulk. Same with Bisha K. the chick that handled Miss Marvels, and even Secret Invasions, Kyle Bradstreet. These people are people that are very inexperienced that should not even have been there to begin with to handle these sort of projects. Seriously, there is a lot that's been exposed. And this is from Grace Randolph. This is not just from any kind of person that just comes and just says anything. Grace Randolph is technically the ultimate shield for Hollywood, and when she is the one exposing so many of this mess behind the scenes, then you might have to take a listen, because she technically will always be on the side of Disney, will always be on the side of shilling for the studios. She will never really tell you the truth as it is. So this is an very interesting situation. It's very ironic, and in fact, this article even says that all this started from the Guardians of the Galaxy, because he made money with Guardians of the Galaxy for Marvel Studios. So they started giving him some leeway to make decisions and to influence decisions at Marvel. And this is where we are. He actually drove Marvel down the wrong path with some of his recommendations and some of his influence behind the scenes. And now he's doing the same thing for the DCU. So no matter how many people come to my comments to attack me and say I hate James Gunn, the reality is that this man has no business being an executive top head at a division like DC. He's going to ruin it, and he's going to get fired really soon. Share your thoughts down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Do like our content. I'll see you guys very much next time.